part in the first place. But now, as you know, the Zulus has been challenged by another kingdom. And there's also Solomon's that's also challenging him. But I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't want to intervene with the Zulu kingdoms. But there's also bloodlines from the Zulu Solomons that are Zulus that.
Now tell me, when the Solomons, before you were here in South Africa, like you're talking about 1200s, where were you prior to that? Where did you migrate from? During the migrations. Remember there were migrations in Africa?
The migration?
Yeah. With the migrations, where did you migrate from?
We migrate originally from Western Cape. From Riversdale, the Solomons are established. Basically, we are well established all over South Africa. Look, the Tunanku, the Khoisan, if we can go, I can say my blood lineage, but like I say, I have to prove it. And just like, then, and like I told you, even like when it comes to religion, somebody can tell me they are apostolic, somebody can tell me they INQUA, somebody can tell me the Anglican, somebody can tell me they this ministry. But where does it all fit in? But we were here first, related to me also. We were here first.
Yes, you were here first, but I'm saying, when
200,000 years.
Yeah.
Riversdale.
So you've
Riversdale, basically, the HESSEQUA in the 1200s, we've been established, and then the same like our Khoisans were killed and murdered and oppressed. And there was a thing in Western Cape that happened that they told you, yes, the Lost World, they throw you there in the apartheid eras also when they said that we are not associated, blacks and the colors, you are not associated with us already. And that's why they were fought this revolutionary. So it comes on, and even a consistent 30 years of democracy, 30 years of we're fighting also to get commencement, but they deny us that. Now, government themselves. So things are happening now. Things are happening now.
Yeah. What is the difference between colored people and, I don't want to call you Khoisan because there's nothing called Khoisan. What is your clan name again?
HESSEQUA. It means water, life.
HESSEQUA. What is the difference between coloreds and HESSEQUAs?
Colored is a doctrinated, oppressed name that was given 1950 and declared on us oppressed, which means servant or gemors. That's identity which we don't stand for. That is not our real identity. It was given. The British gave it to us, and the Dutch, the VOC, they gave it to us, the French, they gave it to us. It was suppressed in the apartheid era, the Boer regime, they gave it to us. Now we're fighting.
Okay. Now,
to get our true identity.
No, we know that there's a lineage that comes from white men and African women. And they gave birth to what we call coloreds. And there is HESSEQUA. Now, I want the difference between the two. Because we cannot deny that we have a nation that was created in South Africa by white men and black women, African women.
Yeah.
That nation is there.
Yes.
It exists. We can't wipe it out. And we used to call it colored. And there's HESSEQUAs. Now,
that's why you get
there's also a confusion there because now all of a sudden everybody is now HESSEQUA or Korana. It seems like there's no colored nation anymore. What happened?
I think we were oppressed and we were confused, and a lot didn't accept the true identity because colored is almost like a curse that you embrace on yourself. You call yourself. It means gemors or nothing. That's why there's such a lot of oppression, gangsterism, substance abuse, because they embrace. Look, we were separated. The same like when Nicholas and David Steerman escaped from Nicholas escaped and went to West Africa, which is also named Namibia. So we are divided. And then say for instance, if you used to stay here, other friend or a family member or descendant, they were taken by force from the original district and they were moved. What happened then? Now you are thrown way back in the apartheid year, even before that. They throw who had labs? Where does gangsters? Where does substance abuse come from? Where does them besides being mixed from white and black and colored used to interracial and interact and marriages and slept with each other and even been raped and taken for slavery, which we know when the Amfarik became 6 April 1652 and took the nice ones for them and others were killed and hidden, and when they made children they were hidden because they didn't want their woman to know, etc. But besides that, if you were thrown, you from Strand, for instance, you're thrown into Mitchellspring. What happens now? Now you're in an area in a district where don't know nobody. What do? You look around you. Your anger, the same like pause out, that means angry man. Now as a colored, who you take your anger out? On your nearest brother. You shoot him. You're confused because they don't belong and the others don't belong. They mix together. We will mix race where the white men rape, etc. But besides being first here also, there's a lot of misperception and the wrong history that is going to be told by us. That's why government reach out to us and saying, let us know your bloodline, let us know your history, let us know your culture. Are you who you say you are, etc. And the confusion was 1915 where we were declared as colored, which means Formosan, and it wasn't our true identity. Even in schools, the history was rewritten and misperceived. And that's why we're giving the real history now, and things are falling into place, A, B, C, D, the way it's supposed to be. And now everybody's alert where the workshops are given, the language, etc. Even in UCT, where Sargi Bartman's naval is being restored, Kratua, on it, you know that it was on the news also.
Yeah.
In her life, what she did, etc. And a book is out also. So things are happening. I think that's why they're wiping the museum also in Gurup Cape Castle, which means the real history and the real dates and the real honorable members that died at rival levels, the same like Chris Hani, etc. That we also mustn't confuse political with cultural. You can either be a cultural activist or a political activist, but not either. Both of them.
Now,
so what? Okay.
I wanted to ask a question. Earlier on, you were asking, why is it that there's storms, there's hurricanes in Gauteng, there's in KZN? What's happening? Can you elaborate on that?
Why there's a lot of kings or the same tribes in different districts or provinces?
No. Why are there so many floods, hurricane, and why is Gauteng falling? And
it's because we were divided. We were taken away. The same like I told you and used the example that if you stood from Strand and during the apartheid and the revolutionary, and that's why the fort has got a history also about Kun and Kun now Nama kingdom, slaves that were, and that's why we did a cleansing there for a weekend and a thanksgiving to God to set free our ancestors. That's how we set them free, where we did the rituals and the tradition with our kiris, etc. in a square formation and when we burn pepper, etc. and did our culture proud and thanksgiving and with the rituals but yeah, I think there's also sometimes a confusion when some don't want to accept that they are not colored and Kun and Kru or Koi and San or Bushman is they were given the wrong identity, being oppressed and being misinterpreted and lied to. But a lot are aware of the blood lineage because we prove to them in workshops, etc. But we are divided still. That's what happened. It happened in the apartheid era, and the British and the Dutch when they came here and took us and some escaped and some were crucified and slaughtered in Gurup Castle and imprisoned in Robben Island during the apartheid era. That caused that Some of them had to flee, and the ones who stayed behind were almost extinguished, but we weren't. They said, and government also said that we were extinguished. There's no question, but we have the proof, and we're standing up, and that's why things are falling in place. And we had to put God first, to give thanks and glory to Him, to free our ancestors also, there so they can rest in peace, and that we can take back what is ours, not by fighting. And I think government is more causing more division by telling lies. We are not divided. We are stronger than. But
So are you
all of
saying
us,
the floods are caused by your ancestors? Is that what you're saying?
never look. They made a mistake.
What mistake?
Jan van Riebeeck was invited. They invited him when he came 6 April, 1652, and he came. He took. That's why the Rooibos is also. There's another thing. The trust funds, the wrong leaders getting the compensation. You're aware of that, millions and stuff. The paid outs. The government want to give us 12 million a year. It's actually more a billion than a billion or whatever. And the wrong leaders get like the NKC get 30%, and they want to give to the tribal and royal houses 1.2 or 5%, which is a rip-off. The wrong leaders get the money and the compensate, and some even get bribe money from government. That's why we can't take our right places and honor and set free our ancestors, where they also made a mistake from inviting the British and the DOC in, and they took our herbs and took our cattle and our lands, and they gave French alcohol, etc., and they overpower us with guns, etc. We did fight, but the damage has been done is collateral damage, and the hurt and the pain. That's why some fight among each other, because they're still stuck in the past to move on. And if you mean nobody, no harm, you don't see skin color, you don't see black or white ever. You see forgiveness. And the only one is to forgive you, is to move on, to set free. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck. And how can we honor and reclaim our ancestors' name is to do what we have to do now. Know where you come from, know your tradition, know your culture, know your history, don't lie. And we did the cleansing, like I said, thank you. And there was some that wanted to jeopardize it, but if you got the fear of God and you honor and you don't pray to your ancestors, but you pray to God, that's the other thing also, that a lot of people think that when you talk about Khoisan, they think Patakop, Busman, and some due to oppression and raping our brothers, black and colored brown sisters. That's why you get a Khoisan that's got blue eyes and a Patakop and some got straight hair or whatever. It's total confusion, and this have been kept from us. But we are alerting, we are educating, we have workshops, and we're telling the truth that it is, because the proof is in the pudding, which we have documented and certified, and in the blood DNA analysis.
Moving forward, what is it that you would like to see happening in South Africa?
I would like to say most of the look. I always call political. We have more privilege than them, and a lot of our cultural activists and leaders are uneducated. Kingdoms where there's too much infights or for positions and etc. And then the politician, I call them magicians, they come in and they recruit from churches, they recruit from our people, they confuse them politics with cultural, and they act like cultural activists. They're recruiting and confusing, and some get bribed. I want justice, I want equality. That's why Gator McKenzie, I salute him for extending his hand, because if he didn't do what he did, the other 27 altogether to 9 portfolios, national minister portfolios would have been taken. Because government don't want to give us commencement. They are lying. They're saying we're divided. They exclude us from important meetings and decisions where it comes to unemployment, social development, cars, etc., houses. They excluding us. But through Gator McKenzie, there's doors opening. So he's not just talking. I'm a living testimonial, and I can commence to that, and I salute him for extending his hand, because you say he's Khoisan also. His father's colored, his mom's Basutu. And he said to the Kokta chairperson, wait, you can't make decisions here. My people is not here. That's why he met up with us on the 19th of October, and everything went well. So now we're going to meet. I think it's from the 3rd till the 5th is during the week, December. Then we're going to take leaders from all royal and tribal houses, 5 women and 5 men to equal for equality. And obviously, not everybody and one monarch have to be established. All of that, but that's why they've got voices. They in the sport, arts, and culture structures. 21 that's gonna volunteer and give them info of our heritage and info of what's going on, info on the Khoisan matters and educating and keeping our communities and tribal and royal houses updated. Also, what's happening in government, where they're going to have there's committees that's been established. I'm sure you know that from the youth, etc., that expose also what's happened with the SASA grants, etc. They did that in the legislative parliament, provincial legislature. So we're going to be part and parcel of that. Since government don't want to actually give us the true commencement which we do deserve. So doors are opening now. And Gator McKenzie is the answer. He's the solution and the conclusion to all of this.
Okay. No, I think we've had, and thank you very much for the interview.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And yeah, don't cut yourself short also, Princess Depo Makolo. You're also blood lineage royalty. And I say thank you for this time and thank you that you can make my voice here and thank you for your humble acquaintance and always listening and we always updating, we always related and telecommunicating and it's a privilege also and I have to thank you also for your humble spirit and your creative mindset and elevation through media, social media, etc. and voice and video calling and production and into media.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much and have a lovely afternoon.
I says, Bye.
Bye.
Bye.